Does anybody remember the Nickelodeon show Bubble Guppies? You know, it's a Nickelodeon show that's based around on a quartet of guppies living in an ocean called Bubble Tucky. The guppies' names were Molly, Gil, Gobi, Dima, Una, and Nani, with their pet dog, Bubble Puppy, and their teacher, Mr. Grouper. During into Season 5 and Season 6, they added a new guppy named Zuli. However, though, despite the interest of the show being my favorite, there was one memory that still haunted me for days about it. It always will be. The day started that I was at the beach, sunbathing, like a usual person do at the beach. After some hours of sunbathing, I decided to use my metal detector to see if I can find anything that never before seen. While I was looking around with my metal detector, I heard a sudden beep, meaning that I found something. Once I did, I digged up the sand and there was the box. And it was a blue box with the Nickelodeon logo and McDonald's logo. I got a bit concerned, but I cracked the engine to smirk to see what it was. Once I opened it, it was a Bubble Guppies DVD. The cover featured Molly, Gil, Gobi, Dima, Una, Nani, Zuli, Bubble Puppy, and Mr. Grouper are at the McDonald's sign, with the Bubble Guppies logo on top and the DVD logo tinted in a light blue color, with the quote, "I'm loving it," above the Guppies as they were saying it. I was interested, despite the fact that the show was being my favorite. When I got home, I inserted the disc into my DVD player and it started. It then showed the McDonald's logo and the Nickelodeon logo in a blue background. Then it cuts over to the menu. The menu depicted of all the Guppies at their school, with the following menu buttons: play short, visit Nickelodeon.com, and visit McDonald's.com in Canada. I thought to myself this might be the Canada version, I said to myself. I then clicked on play short to see how the short would go. The short started with a shot of Bubble Tucky at night. Then it cuts over to various places around the series, such as the preschool area, the title card area, the hospital, the adoption center, the construction area, the marching band and performance area, the stage from the Super Ballet Ball, the fish ball court, the airport, and many other places. While it showed a compilation of some of the places in the show, and the background was a similar tune called Back to Home, which was similar to the music that was being played in Stundy Tubbies 3. Then it goes over to a shot of a McDonald's restaurant. However, though, no people were in sight, however. I could only hear wind blowing and dogs barking in the dark, but with no music, though. Later, after about 15 seconds, Molly, Gil, Gobi, Dima, Una, and Nani walked into the shot.
Alright guys, Zuli, Mr. Grouper, and Bubble Puppy have gone missing lately. Someone has taken them to this restaurant that we never heard of before, or that we're in right now,
Molly said. I was surprised. I remember when Joey encountered a never-before-seen Burger King short with Super Quick Mario Fan Galaxy, Molly was the one being kidnapped. But this time in this never-before-seen Bubble Guppies McDonald's short, Mr. Grouper, Zuli, and Bubble Puppy were the ones being kidnapped this time. The Guppies looked at the restaurant with all worried and confused faces. But I'm not really so sure about this, Molly. Like, are you sure this is a good idea visiting an abandoned restaurant? Gil asked. Don't worry, Gil. I think we're all gonna be alright, Gobi said.
How will we get in, guys?
Dima wondered. Maybe we can use that vent over there, Nani said as he pointed at a vent.
Good idea, Nani,
Una said. The Guppies went over to the vent and opened it as they went inside. It then cuts to a shot of all the Guppies in the vent and crawling in. Just then, it then cuts to inside of the McDonald's restaurant. Molly opened the vent door to see if anyone is there.
Is anyone there, Molly?
Dima asked.
Nope,
Molly said. The Guppies got out of the vent and began looking for the three missing people.
Mr. Grouper?
Molly called out. Bubble Puppy, where are you, boy? Gil called out as well. Zuli, are you here? Gobi called out as well.
Where are you guys?
Dima called out too. Come out wherever you are, Nani called out too. Just then, they then heard a sudden and evil laughter. All the Guppies began to get scared.
What was that?
Una stammered.
I don't know.
Molly said. Whoever's making that laughter is making me really scared, Gobi said.
Do you guys think one of the villains are in this restaurant?
Dima said. I doubt it, Dima. It had to be someone more larger than that, Gil said. At that moment, a light appeared in the kitchen. Once they looked, they saw Zuli, Mr. Grouper, and Bubble Puppy all tied up in rope.
Oh, guys, you found us! Thank goodness!
Zuli, they said, feeling glad. The Guppies hushed Zuli down due to the sounds of the restaurant. Zuli, be quiet! Someone will hear us, Gobi said.
Oh, sorry,
she said. But quick question, how did you guys find us? Mr. Grouper asked. We heard that you three has gone missing lately. And the little fishes mentioned this restaurant that was near to our school. So that's why we're here to find you, Gobi said.
Huh, that's quite genius,
Zuli said. And now we found you, Gil added. The three then nodded. Bubble Puppy barked and cheered. Right before the 6 Guppies were about to free them, a sudden fish then went into the shot. The fish looked oddly similar to Mr. Grouper. Instead, he had clown makeup on his face, red and white arms with yellow gloves. He had red and white stripes. His fishtail was yellow, and he had the McDonald's Canada logo. The Guppies were shocked as they saw him. The fish began to speak, but with the voice of Tom Kenny, who voiced the famous SpongeBob. Hello there, little mermaids. What are you all doing here? Molly and Gil went over to the fish and confronted him.
So you were the one who kidnapped our friends, huh?
Molly said. Why would you do that? Gil said. Oh, well, you see, I want to make food out of them to serve to the humans since we're running out of meat. So at night, I decided to go to each of their houses and put some objects that look just like them. So that's basically how it all happened. Hopefully.
You can't do that!
Dima shouted. More like I can do it, the fish said. Just then, the fish lowered his hand onto a pedal, which ended with Mr. Grouper, Zuli, and Bubble Puppy be flying right up to the flyer, avoiding the boiling basket. The Guppies were all shocked. Guys, don't worry, I'm going to help you, Gobi shouted. Gobi ran over to go help them, but suddenly, the fish grabbed at a nearby rolling pin and threw it towards Gobi. The rolling pin hit Gobi as it made Mr. Grouper, Zuli, and Bubble Puppy fell right into the fire, causing Gobi to go with them as well. Gobi, Zuli, Mr. Grouper, and Bubble Puppy began screaming in pain as they were being frightened to death. Although Zuli was the loudest of them all. The four would continue screaming until they were now dead. Molly, Gil, Dima, Una, and Naughty were shocked seeing what happened. Molly exclaimed. Gobi! Bubble Puppy! Gil exclaimed.
Why would you do that?
Una said. Naughty clenched his fist. You monster! He shouted. Since I killed all of your little fishy friends, I think I'm gonna add sushi to the menu, the fish said.
Wait, sushi?
Molly yelled. That's right. So come here so I could turn you all into sushi. Dima ran over to the fish and started to attack him.
You killed our friends!
Dima growled. Just then, the fish grabbed onto a knife and threw Dima at the metal table, causing her head to bleed. You really think doing this would really work on me? I don't really think so, the fish said. The fish raised the knife up and stabbed Dima in the forehead. Dima's eyes widened in shock.
Dima!
Molly screamed in unison. Just then, Dima then died as her eyes closed. Alright, Guppies, I think it's a great time that we should get out of here! Gil screamed into the top of his lungs. The Guppies ran over to the door and tried to open it, but the door was locked.
Oh, now the door is locked!
Molly, he said in a panic. What are we gonna do? Nani, he said.
Guys, calm down! We're find a better exit!
Una said. Maybe we should know that vent door that we went through, Gil said. But when they went, the vent door was locked.
Wait, what?
Molly yelled in shock. How did the vent door just close by itself? Gil said. Actually, little fishies, I was the one who closed it, the fish said.
Ah, great.
Una groaned. Just then, the fish ran over to Una and grabbed at her. Hey, back away from my best friend, Nani said. The two went in for a tug of war, or to let Una go. But suddenly, the fish won the tug of war. All right, you little purple mermaid. Time for you to join the rest of your friends, he said.
I'm not letting you do that,
Una said. She then slapped it up to the fish. What was that for, mermaid girl? He yelled, all in anger.
Well, that's what you get, you!
Before Una would finish her sentence, the fish pulled out a flamethrower and burned Una to death. Una began screaming in pain as she was being burned to death. Just then, Una fell to the floor. Una! Nani yelled. Come and get me, the fish said.
Guys, I have a plan. Gilly and I will go escape. Nani, you take care of that fish. Got it?
Molly explained. Gil and Nani both nodded. Prepare to be defeated by the great Nani, he said. Nani charged at the fish, but suddenly, the fish dodged, causing Nani to hit it on a metal table. However, instead of a bowl of knives, it was a bowl of deep-frying oil. Nani looked up as he noticed that the deep-frying oil was about to land on him. Well, this can't end well, Nani whimpered. The deep-frying oil then poured right onto Nani's face as Nani's face began to melt. Nani let out a blood-curdling scream as his face was being fried to death. Nani continued screaming until he was now dead. Now Molly and Gil were the only two Guppies left. Molly went over to the window and opened it.
Alright, Gilly, let's get out of here,
Molly said. Gil nodded, but just then, right before they were about to make an exit, the fish just jumped right in front of them. And where do you think you two are going? He said.
The exit?
Molly said. Well, that's not gonna happen, he said. He then looked at Gil. And you, blue boy, how about you feel drowning? He asked. I don't want to drown, Gil said. Well, too bad. Instead, you'll be drowning into quicksand, he said. What? Gil exclaimed. The fish grabbed on to Gil and threw him outside as he landed right into the quicksand. Gil screamed as he was being drowned right into the quicksand.
Gilly!
Molly cried. Just then, the only thing was seen was his arm as Gil drowned, as Gil was no more. All right, you singer mermaid, you're next, the fish said. Molly ran for her life as that showed a compilation of the fish and Molly being chased by the fish. But suddenly, Molly got tripped by an incoming table as she fell to the floor. Molly whimpered as she just wanted to get killed. Well, looks like Molly is about to meet her own demise, the fish said. But don't worry, I think I know how I'm going to deal with you, the fish said. Then it cuts over to black. It cuts over to a shot of the fish is dragging Molly by a nearby firework. Molly noticed this as she was shocked.
Wait, what are you doing?
Molly asked. The fish tied Molly to the firework and pulled out a match. Sorry, Molly, but the Bubble Guppies is no more now, the fish said. The fish then lit the fuse to the firework. Bon voyage, he said. The fireworks started up right into the air as the fish watched Molly go flying. Molly screamed as she was being blown up by the firework rocket. Suddenly, it blew up as blood splattered everywhere. The fish witnessed what happened. "Welp, that was fun while it lasted," the fish said. The fish went off, laughing evilly. Then it cuts over to the credits. In the background, a distorted version of Night Night played, which was a song that played in The Puppy in the Ring, and it showed many deaths of what happened to all the Guppies after their deaths, such as Gobi, Zuli, Bubble Puppy, and Mr. Grouper's frightened bodies, Dima stabbed in the forehead with her head bleeding, Una's burned body, Nani's body with his face is burned by the deep frying oil, Gil drowned in the quicksand, and Molly's head lying near the preschool. It then cuts to black. Just then, a caption appeared on the screen saying, "Animated by Kelly Kell in 2023. And then another caption appeared up, which was the McDonald's logo. However, though, the logo was now in a tint of red, and the quote "I'm loving it" wasn't a scary text. Then the ba-da-ba-ba-ba wasn't a demonic effect to it. Then it fades to black as it went back to the menu, ending the DVD. I was petrified really badly. I cannot believe the Bubble Guppies got killed by a fish that looked like Mr. Grouper. I then decided to record the footage and post it onto YouTube. After when I did that, I then decided to talk to Nickelodeon about the situation. They said that Kelly Kell was originally going to be the worker at our Bubble Guppy show, but luckily she was fired for animating a never-before-seen McDonald's short with the Bubble Guppies. I was shocked. Later that night, I began having nightmares about that fish murdering me the same way that he did to the Guppies. I slept with all my Bubble Guppies plushies so I can reassure myself that everything will be alright. Although I still love the Bubble Guppies till this day, I will never forget that never-before-seen McDonald's short that Kelly Kell made out of them. To conclude the story though, if you ever find one of her creations, do not, and I mean do not, watch it.